Tasha binti Muhammad Azlan. My ID number is SIB 24030039. Inflation, whether low or high, is not an absolute indicator of an economy's overall health. Instead, it provides valuable insights that must be considered alongside other economic factors to draw meaningful conclusions. Low inflation is often seen as a sign of price stability, which can be beneficial for both consumers and businesses. In such an environment, businesses are more likely to invest and consumers feel more secure about their purchasing power, as the cost of goods and services rises only moderately. However, too low an inflation rate can signal underlying economic problems such as weak demand or stagnation. When inflation dips too close to zero, or if deflation occurs, it can lead to reduced consumer spending, lower business investment, and overall slower economic growth. On the other hand, high inflation can be both a sign of economic vitality and a source of instability, depending on its context. Moderate inflation often reflects strong and demand robust economic growth as businesses raise prices in response to higher consumer spending. However, when inflation becomes too high, it erodes the purchasing powers of consumers, making everyday goods and services more expensive without a corresponding increase in wages. In such cases, people's living standards may decline, and businesses may face uncertainty regarding future costs, potentially curbing investment and growth. Hyperinflation, an extreme form of high inflation, can severely destabilize an economy, leading to a loss of confidence in currency and financial system. Therefore, the broader economic context is crucial when interpreting inflation. In a growing economy with strong demand, moderate inflation can be manageable and even desirable. However, if inflation rises too quickly, in an already sluggish economy, it can compound existing problems. Central banks play a pivotal role in managing inflation through monetary policy, adjusting interest rates to either stimulate or cool down the economy as needed. Additionally, global factors such as commodity price shocks or supply chain disruptions can influence inflation, making it an imperfect gauge of a nation's economic health. Ultimately, inflation, whether high or low, should be viewed as one of many indicators, including employment rates, economic growth, and productivity, that together provide a clearer picture of an economy's overall condition. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is TRISYA binti Nazalini. My ID number is SIB 24030036. I'm from the IB2A. So for question 2, identify and explain the types of inflation based on the article. First, cost push inflation. This occurs when rising production costs push up prices, for example, due to increased wages or raw material prices. This article mentioned that Malaysia experienced this type of inflation during the East Asian economic crisis of 1997 or 1998, when the value of the ringgit fell, causing inflation to soar to 5.3%. Secondly, demand pull inflation. This type of inflation happens when demand for goods and services exceeds supply. Although not explicitly labeled, the article hints at this concept when discussing how inflation is typically positive, reflecting a continual rise in prices. However, it contrasts this with periods of reduced demand during crises where inflation falls. Thirdly, deflation. This is a decrease in the general price level, which the article identifies as a negative inflation rate. It refers to Malaysia's experience in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, when inflation fell to 1.1% due to reduced demand as businesses closed and movement restrictions were imposed. Lastly, disinflation. The article discussed the declining inflation rates from 4.0% in November 2022 to 1.5% in November 2023, While prices are still rising, they are doing so at a slower pace, which is typically of disinflation. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is MARIESSA and my ID number is ASYA 240300838. According to the article, Malaysia's current inflation rate is a low 1.5%, but there are worries that this isn't due to strong economic development but rather to poor demand. Achieving successful inflation control requires balancing the avoidance of deflation, which can impede economic growth, with the prevention of excessive inflation, which reduces purchasing power. Malaysia can controlling inflation with monetary policy adjustment, improving trade balance, price control, and subsidies. Firstly, monetary policy adjustment could be effective in controlling inflation while ensuring economic stability. Careful management of interest rates, which is Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM), can adjust the overnight policy rate (OPR). Malaysia's economy was recovering post-pandemic, with GDP growth improving as domestic activity picked up. This provided room for BNM to begin normalizing monetary policy. Monetary policy and adjustment will get higher borrowing costs, particularly for mortgage and loans, as banks raise interest rates in line with OPR increase to consumer and business. Then, improving trade balance by boosting export and diversifying export market was other policy measure that could be effective in controlling rising inflation in Malaysia. So Malaysia could focus on improving its export competitiveness, which could help stabilize the economy and keep inflation at a healthy level. This can be done by enhancing the competitiveness of key sectors like electronic, palm oil, and other manufacturing export. A stronger export performance can increase foreign exchange earnings, stabilize the currency, and reduce the inflationary pressure from import costs. For example, expanding export to emerging markets or other Asian countries could help improve the trade balance and support domestic competitiveness. Lastly, price control and subsidies can play a key role in managing rising inflation in Malaysia. The government may implement temporary price control to shield consumers from sudden price hikes, while long-term policy should focus on increasing the production and availability of essential goods. For example, government may implement price ceiling on essential goods like food, fuel, and utilities. This helps to directly limit the impact to rising price on consumers, especially during time of economic hardship, as seen in period of low inflation driven by weak demand. Price control should focus on goods and services that have the most significant impact on the cost of living. Subsidies was very common, with Malaysia that has a history of subsidizing fuel and energy price, which help to reduce transportation and production costs across the economy. This prevents cost-push inflation from escalating when global oil price rise. These subsidies can stabilize prices, especially for lower-income groups. Price control and subsidies are effective in the short term. They can strain the government budget if maintained for too long, especially if global price continue to rise. Thus, this measure needs to be balanced with long-term economic reforms to ensure sustainability. In summary, the article presents the possibility that, despite apparent positive trends, the current low rate of inflation may be a symptom of underlying economic problems if it is the result of low demand. Malaysia has to alter its monetary policy, improve this trade balance, control growing inflation, and avoid deflation by imposing price control and subsidies.
Assalamualaikum. My name is PUTRA Abdul Hakim. I'm from the IB2. ID number is 2403033. My question is, describe the potential consequences of prolonged reduction of inflation. For my answer, prolonged reduction of inflation, especially if it leads to deflation, can have several negative consequences for an economy, such as number one, decreased consumer spendings. Second, when consumers anticipate falling prices, they may delay purchases, expecting goods to be cheaper in the future. This behavior also reduces immediate demand, leading to further economic slowdown. Number two, lower business investments. companies may hesitate to invest in expansion or new projects if they expect prices and revenues to decline. This also can stifle innovation and growth. Negative consequences number 3 is increased debt burden. Increased debt burden will happen when deflation increases the real value of debt. It will making it harder for borrowers to repay their loans. This can lead to higher default rates and financial instability for both consumers and businesses. Consequences number 4, wage stagnation or cuts. As companies face declining revenues, they may respond by freezing wages or laying off workers. This also where disposable reduces income and can further diminish consumer spending. Consequences number 5, economic stagnation. Economic stagnation will happen when a cycle of reduced spending, investment, and wage stagnation can trap an economy in stagnation. It will making it very difficult to recover without significant policy intervention. Number 6, loss of economic confidence. Prolonged low inflation or deflation can erode confidence in the economy, leading to uncertainty and reduced participation in economic activities. Number 7, policy challenges. Central banks may find it difficult to stimulate the economy in deflationary environment. As a traditional monetary policy tools like lowering interest rates may become ineffective when rate approach zero. For my summary, while low inflation can seem beneficial at first, sustained low inflation or deflation will also can lead to a series of negative outcomes like 6 examples that I give, because it can ultimately harming growth and stability of economy in country. That's all from me. Thank you.